Hello, welcome to this edition of Talking Hope. We are really excited to share with you just a little bit of what went on at our Talking Toddlers webinar the other week. In Talking Toddlers, we've been thinking about how to use our toddler groups to intentionally create pathways to faith for our very youngest families. And at our webinar, we heard from the inspirational Emma Buchan about how she ran a group for parents who are exploring faith in Jesus in, wait for it, a soft play area. So she'd take the parents from the toddler group down the road to the soft play area for lunch, and while the kids are coming down slides and are in ball pits, their parents are exploring Jesus together. Brilliant. Let's hear from Emma now.
My name's Emma Buchan. Me and my husband were in a parish in Kent, and my husband was the vicar there, and I actually had taken a bit of sabbatical from work, so I was kind of the unpaid children's worker. Someone in the church felt very cool to start a toddler group, which we did, and we called it Toddler Praise, and it was wonderful. And we had lots of parents come along, and it was everything that everyone around this Zoom room, I would hope, want it to be. It was biblically based, it was prayer. But we had all these mums coming, and we were like, how are we going to help them grow in their faith? And I think it was a God idea. We did this, just so you know, the toddler group, Toddler Praise, was on a Monday afternoon. And we had in our little kind of urban village, you could say, it was a commuter belt area, we had a Wetherspoons pub, and it opened at 12, but it had a play area in the pub, and that wasn't used before 12 o'clock. And so I went in and I asked if we could maybe hire the play area, and they said, no, you can have it for free. You just buy coffee and we can sit there, the kids can play. And we launched book club, which sounds very boring, but actually did everything that Andy talked about. We did life together. We all learned everything about one another's lives, but within that, we started to explore faith. So you kind of have the contact with the toddler group and the kids, and they're forming community themselves. They're having a wonderful time on the Monday afternoon. Tuesday morning, we meet for book club. We probably had about 20 mums who came to that really regularly every week. Even we had some mums from our church who didn't, where the kids were now even at secondary school, but they just used to like to come along for the conversation. And we went through Christian classics. We read, I don't know, The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Rew. We read The Cross and the Switchblade. We read we did this for about 5 years. You could name me a Christian classic, and we did different kind of alpha course very gently in there, but the kids would play in the play area having a great time, and we would have coffee together. We would have an hour of just chat and catch up, and then we do an hour of not Bible study, but basically it became Bible study, because we take the principles that we were learning about these amazing Christian people in these books and apply it. And through that, we had probably about 25 people confirmed in our church. It is that arrow. They're not all still there. Some now are the church wardens, or, are the sort of wonderful people who help run the church, and some have drifted away. But also, I would say what's really important is that arc. So you have your contact, you have your toddler group, but I couldn't have run both, because that would have been too much. So I was very fortunate and blessed that someone was called to run the toddler group, and I used to help go and set it up, and I was there to have all the relationships, which were so important, with all the parents and the kids. But I would run the Tuesday, she would run the Monday, and we both went to both. And then obviously we had Sunday school on the Sunday. So I used to sort of see it as this big umbrella with lots of different kind of like phases, and each one needed to link into one another. And then with the school, we had something then called Mini Kings, which reception children could go to. So they'd gone to a toddler group, they'd gone to the book club. When they got to school, they could go to a little after school club called Mini Kings. And then they had King's Squad. This wasn't run by us, but it just meant that there was a pathway through that they could go from one to the next. And the relationships were key. We then launched something called Leap of Faith, where we'd take 60 women in the end from across the diocese off to a camp, a Carity Wood, and we'd do like abseiling and zip wiring. But a wonderful preacher used to come, and then and really that was like our real time of spiritual growth. I believe that often when you get to kind of just focus on God for say 48 hours and just kind of come out of normal life, it really helps. But the point being is we had a community.
Toddler groups and our very youngest families are a massive missional opportunity for the local church. 74% of parents of under fives tell us that they have a connection with a local church through activities for their children. So this is something that at Hope and Talking Toddlers we want to make the most of. We want to resource and support this opportunity. And that's why at our webinar the other week we were delighted to launch the first of our God's Big Story series of Bible stories for the under fives using Happy Land characters from the Early Learning Centre. The first story is God Washes the World, the story of Noah, how God made the world, how it got messed up but was too big for a washing machine. So God had to use Noah, his family and a very big boat to give it a fresh start. Each of the God's Big Story series comes with some associated resources because we want children to be able to see, hear, play, sing the story. So if you check out our webpage, you will find an animation, an action song, play suggestions, downloadable colouring sheets and toddler group resources. We're really excited about the God's Big Story series of children's books. We hope you are too. And to give you just a little taste, you can watch the animation now. Enjoy.
Our story begins at the start of everything, when God made the world. God loved the world he had made, the animals, the birds, the insects, the plants, and of course, the people. The world was good. But it didn't stay that way. God wanted to be friends with people, but people didn't always want to be friends with God. People did what they wanted and turned their backs on God. The world got messed up. The world was too big to fit in a bath. The world was too big to fit in a washing machine. God needed to wash the world another way.
What about a shower?
Even a shower was too small.
This is Noah and his family.
Hello.
Mrs. Noah
Hello.
and Noah's sons, Ham,
Hello.
Shep,
Hello.
and Japheth.
Hello.
Noah and his family were God's friends in a messy world. Noah and his family were God's friends. They listened to what God said and lived the way he said was best. They looked after each other and the world God had made. How many people are in your family? God wanted to keep Noah and his family safe while the world was being washed. So, God told Noah to build a boat. Not just any boat, but a big ark made of wood. How many big things can you name? How about a giraffe, a rocket, a tree, a building, or even the sky? The ark needed to be big. There had to be room for lots of animals, as well as Noah and his family. God told Noah to take some of every type of animal, bird and insect onto the ark to keep them safe.
Even spiders?
Yeah, even spiders.
Noah worked hard to build the ark and get the animals on board. Then it started to rain.
Splish, splash, splosh.
Noah, his family and the animals were safe on the ark. Oi you two, I said on the ark. It rained and it rained. Then it rained some more. Do you like rain? Splosh, splash, the world got very wet. Can you count the raindrops?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The rain covered the land and the flowers
And over the buildings.
and towers. The rain even covered the tops of the trees.
Oh no, it's even over the trees.
It was a flood. But Noah, his family, and all the animals, birds and insects were safe in the ark. How many things have got wet? As the water level rose, the water got higher and higher and higher and higher.
and higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
It rained and it rained, day after day. Noah, his family, and the animals were in the ark for a long time. Can you imagine how busy, noisy, and smelly it was with all those animals, birds, and insects to look after?
Ugh, who made that
Careful,
smell?
you're just about to put your feet in. Ugh.
Then one day, the rain stopped. Can you count the raindrops now?
That's right, there aren't any. The rain had stopped.
Do you think it was safe for Noah, his family, and the animals to leave the ark? Noah sent a raven to look for dry land, but it came back with nothing. The rain still covered the trees. Later, Noah sent out a dove, and it came back with a branch in its mouth. Noah knew that it would soon be safe to leave the ark. God had finished washing the world. The world was clean again, ready for a new start.
How did the world get dry? Did God need a ginormous towel?
Something like that.
God told Noah and his family that it was safe to leave the ark. Noah, his family, the animals, birds, and insects would be a new start for the world. How many insects can you count?
1, 2, 3, 4.
God still loved the world, and God loved Noah and his family too. Have you ever seen a rainbow? Sometimes we see them in the sky when it's sunny after rain. God put a beautiful rainbow in the sky for Noah and his family to see. Noah and his family were happy to be out of the ark. They thought the rainbow was beautiful too.
Where? I can't see it.
It's behind you.
Wow, it's beautiful.
God told Noah that the rainbow was a sign of his promise.
Like a pinky promise.
Even more important than a pinky promise. God promised never to wash the world again by a flood. What do you think Noah and his family should do now? A long time later, the world needed another wash, another new start. But God remembered his rainbow promise. So, God sent his son Jesus to wash the world and offer people a new start.
Jesus makes us clean on the inside too.
When we are baptised, the water reminds us that Jesus had made us clean. So we can be friends with God, just like Noah. Do you want Jesus to be your friend and to make you clean?
Let's say a prayer.
Dear Jesus, thank you that you love me and want to be my friend. Sorry for the mess I make. Thank you that you sorted out my mess when you died on the cross. Please be my friend and help me to make less mess.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.